The world is hurting right now, and it's time to rise up. As we lift ourselves up in body, mind, and spirit, we can reach out to others and be a light in a sea of darkness. Welcome to the Movement for Global Health with your host, Dr. Mary Zennett.
Dilyana Mileva is a passionate and dedicated holistic practitioner. She is known as an expert in sleep and relaxation. She overcame significant health challenges after being misdiagnosed with anxiety. She learned that small but significant changes to her lifestyle helped her manage the symptoms of menopause, and she embarked on her own healing journey. Now, she empowers women to do the same. Dilyana was nominated for the Client Care Award for her deep care of clients from the organization Your Holistic Earth. Those that work with Dilyana see results often within weeks with improvement in energy, sleep, and overall well-being. It is truly a privilege to welcome you, Dilyana Mileva.
Thank you so much, Marie. Thank you so much.
Let's talk first about your story. You suffered a lot. You had a lot of health challenges. Tell us a little bit about that and what led to where you're at today.
Imagine that this feeling, actually nothing feels worse than you are tired and wired, and your body wants to sleep, your mind wants to sleep, your eyes it's tired, but you cannot fall asleep, and it's already 2 a.m. in the morning. And you cannot figure it out why it's that happen when all the day you feel so tired. And I wake up usually in the morning after alarm going on, and you know that you have a responsibility to go and to face, you have appointment, you have important things to be done, but you feel so tired, you need a little bit more, few hours if you can stay in bed. And then you going through the day in motions, then feel like a walking zombie. You feel like in a dream, never present, and relay the endless cup of caffeine. And in the afternoon, you already want to go back to sleep. And the evening is coming, you cannot fall asleep until the early morning. And if you fall asleep, you wake up at least 2-3 times during the night, and sometimes very early. I cannot fall asleep again.
I'm sure many listeners can relate to this. It's such a problem. Now, this started in your 40s?
Yes, I was in early 40s, around 44. And I push myself with that job, full-time job in business, and also, going here and there, running all the time. I didn't listen to my body. So I started to feel really tired. I cannot figure it out. Why with all my knowledge with health and wellness as a yoga teacher, breathwork teacher, and living with plant-based diet, and don't drink, don't smoke. Why I feel so tired all the time? I cannot really have a good night's sleep. And I didn't listen to my body, what the body tried to tell me, and I just keep pushing, until I keep coming the moment last year, in the beginning of the year, that I was in a crashing fatigue and burnout. I just wasn't able to move. I was in depression. I felt irritable and anxious, of course, and I have these mood swings often. And I start to forget the things. I start to forget my belongings in public places. I start to forget important meetings, and I didn't know what's going on, but I get scared. And also I knew that sleep is related with aging, and if you don't have a good night's sleep, you can age faster. And I didn't want to be in this so fast. And I start to do the research. I decide that I need to start healing, and after being misdiagnosed from the doctors, they just decide that I'm too young to be in a menopause or premenopause. Actually, they don't talk about at all premenopause at all. So I start to do the research and experiment and adjust my own practice, and start to a little bit emphasize have a little bit longer practice with the breath, with the breathing. And I start to feel difference. I start to feel more in peace, more grounded, more connected with my soul. I also discover some limited beliefs, and I really find with the breath the connection with my purpose, and my also the connection to the universe. And I really start to see the changes happening slowly. It doesn't happen right away in one night, but slowly I start to see some better improvement. And with all my researches and what seeing in myself, I was drawn to share this information with others, so that I start to create programs, group programs and one-on-one programs to help other women, and most of all, educate them what is possible and how they can find their purpose, power, and passion again, find their control again, and feel like themselves again, fall in love with their body, and see the different perspective going through this challenging period. It's not like it's not the end of the world. It's a period. It can end, and it depends of your lifestyle and how you see how you your perspective to how you're going through this, if in more ease, in grace, or more challenges.
Wow, that's such a powerful story to think of where you were. You were losing things, forgetting things. You were exhausted, completely exhausted.
Yeah, that's feeling that you're not like hopeless, helpless.
Right.
Really, it's terrifying. Yeah.
It is. And that's what I want our listeners to hear, because we talk to people all the time that have such mental health pains, very crippling anxiety, depression. The list goes on and on. No energy, can't concentrate, very hard to function. And what I'm hearing from you is that this was nothing on the surface. There was issues under the surface that needed to be addressed. And you learned a lot. It sounds like the breath work was a lifeline for you.
Yeah, it's a life-changing and life-transforming. It's really, I discovered that just one nerve in our body system, which is the cranial nerve coming from your brain and to your gut, it's responsible for how you interact with others, with your digestion, but also how you sleep. And also with the proper breathing, you really can achieve deep, restful sleep. It doesn't matter if you have these hormone changes and cortisol high, which is the main, sometimes some of the reason of the sleepless night.
Wow. Let's talk a little bit about breath work. You know, we hear a lot about it, how important it is, but I have a feeling there's some specifics that people need to know. You know, yes, the breathing is extremely important, but can you share some of this with us?
And specifically how you breathe. If you breathe through the mouth all day long, and that's very probable that you're gonna sleep with mouth open, it is gonna affect your circadian rhythm and your natural rhythm of sleep, because the brain is not oxygenated enough. So the brain and the blood cells need to be oxygenated enough. The breath is responsible for pH in the blood. They scientifically researched that actually apnea is a lack of oxygenation of the breath. They forcefully type your mouth with using the machine, of course, to be able to sleep and breathe through the nose. But that's its habit and muscle that you can train and learn how to breathe properly during the day, what kind of lifestyle you need to have, how you can rest, so what kind of routine you need to have so you can achieve this deep, restful sleep.
Wow. So what you're saying is that people listening, if they are by nature breathing from the mouth, is that they can be trained.
Yeah, that's there's some people who have a problem with the nose, the congestion, they have asthma, they have other issue, but that's something that they really also can learn and train, and that can become a habit and then change everything for them.
Wow. Wow. And you hear so many people today with the sleep apnea, and they're just not, they're not oxygenating.
That's the problem, is just a lack of oxygen. They for that reason they can fall asleep all the time during the day because of this lack of oxygen. And you need to start to use the full capacity of the lungs for our better functioning in general, because the breath also is related to heartbeat. And if you learn how to breathe properly, if you relax, if you train the brain how to stop overthinking and these racing thoughts, and how to fall asleep, you can avoid also a lot of heart disease, a lot of infection, a lot of so many other things that it's related to lack of sleep and not proper breathing.
Right. Let's talk specifically about breath work. Are there several types of breath work?
Yes, there's many types of breath work. I use specifically the pranayama, which is the yogic breath of breathing. There's also holotropic breathing. There's rebirth breathing. There's, I think, 2, 3, 4 more types of breathing. Some of them, some of them use the breathing with mouth open. I'm using the breathing with mouth closed. Some of these techniques also they use more emotional effect of breathing, kind of they have a specific method to return to the root cause of your trauma, probably, and to release emotions that can hold you trapped in this particular problem. So with the fast-paced breathing, you can, and music, you can kind of release the negative emotions and negative what can be stuck in your energy field.
That are stuck, absolutely. The emotions get stuck in the energy field in the body, and somehow it has to get released. So you're finding the breath work that you're doing can be very effective for that.
Breath work, that means you control the breath in specific way, and you use this rhythmic or space breath to in most of all the deep breathing. So I most of all use the deep breathing, the 3-part diaphragmatic breathing, and actually train the people to breathe more with the belly and pelvic floor than with the chest, because 95% of people of population breathe mostly with the upper chest. And that is also a sign when you're stressed, you start to hold the breath or breathe very fast. So the thing is to breathe slow, steady, and deep.
And in our very sedentary society, we're not using our lung capacity. We're just not. We just, like you say, shallow breaths, not even paying attention, it's subconscious, but it's just, we're not using lung capacity. And then those short, shallow breaths then lead to anxiety. So we're anxious, the thoughts are anxious, and then the breathing is anxious, and it's a vicious cycle.
Yes, actually, using the breath, you are more in the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest, and not so much as majority is in these states and fight and flight or freeze. So most of the time you're in this state, fight and flight or freeze, and you feel threatened because of this stress, chronic stress that you're bombarded from environment, bombarded from electronics, bombarded from the media, and you have our own problems. And all this, how you think you can think about breathing. You just forget to breathe. Really, you take this breathing as something that you have, you all have it in natural, but how you use it and how you actually how you breathe.
Wow. So let's talk a little bit more about breath work. Do you have classes or master classes or training that people...
I have a free weekly classes for the beginners, just to introduce them to begin if they're completely beginners. Even already they practice some other type of breath work on other experiencing some of pranayam. They are yogi, they use the yoga. They still, because I love to combine the styles. I love the combination of the techniques, so they still can learn something.
Oh, that's wonderful. So at the end, we're going to talk specifically about how people can find you and access some of this training. It's invaluable. It's invaluable. And that way it's beginner, it's free, it's not threatening, but it can get people introduced, and then they become more immersed in it.
Yeah, even if they like how that's work, they have a mini course and or more extended course, or just work with me in one-on-one. They have a choices after that. I have workshops also. But let's start with the free weekly classes. I have also Facebook group and a Facebook page, which is called Menopause Support Academy, is my Facebook page. And the Facebook group is Balance, Perimenopause, and Menopause.
Oh, wonderful. But the Facebook page is Menopause Support Academy.
Yes, they are where I advertise my events, my free events. It's the Menopause Support Academy.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Now, is the breath work the key to help improve the sleep? Because I know you talked about all those problems with sleeping.
I think so. I think it's really can calm the mind and slow the heart rate and also heartbeat, and activate, learning how to activate this nerve that I just mentioned, this cranial called vagus nerve. It can bring you immediately in a relaxation state and bring you in the deep sleep.
Wow. And that's without medication or even...
Yes. I suggest sometimes herbs. I suggest if you want to support yourself, additionally, use a kind of more adaptogen or herbs like valeriana. They have chamomile tea, more these natural things than melatonin, because melatonin in long run can bring the side effect also. And you also feel in the morning, again, a little bit dizzy, not so concentrate. And in the long term, it's not, I don't suggest that. It's short term, if it's really you need from the jet lag or for some night shift job, but avoid in the long term it can create dependency. Instead of that, search, or you can also ask me if you reach out to me, what kind of herbs I can suggest and what kind of adaptogen. That's something I also teach.
Wow. So what you're saying, just to recap, if anybody missed that, the melatonin is not the best. I know it's used a lot.
Yeah, just avoid if it's possible, because it does the as the hormone replacement therapy, that's the first thing that people will suggest by pharmacy or doctors. The same thing with melatonin is a more famous thing as a supplement, because it's another talk about the artificial melatonin as a pill and natural melatonin, which is the white, the sun white and natural white. And actually, I can teach in my program and courses how actually to have natural melatonin and not artificial one.
Wow. So that's something we've got to have in our notes and follow up with you,
Yes.
Take some of these courses.
Yes, it's important to know. Many people don't know. They simply don't know. They go and buy the melatonin thing. It's help, I can say, for some cases, but how you feel after, it's also questionable.
Absolutely. And it's very popular. I will tell you this. The melatonin is is very popular, but people need to know that they have other options and that just the melatonin is not the best for you.
Yeah, just the melatonin is not the best. Yeah, there's three things like a breath, air, water, food. There's a three things that you can learn how to use it.
Yeah, this is wonderful. Are there other tools too that you teach besides the breath work?
I teach a mindfulness, how to be in the moment, and it also relates to the breath. So how to use the breath as an anchor to be in the present moment to overcome this anxiety. And yeah, mindful movement also, gentle movement. And yeah, I create just wellness balance program for mind, body, and mental, emotional, and physical.
Wow. That, and everybody needs that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. And not many people talk about it. So thank you so much to inviting me about this topic, to share my knowledge. And yeah.
I'm so happy to, because you have so much knowledge. And like we're talking about, it's not talked about enough. It really isn't.
Yeah, it's a kind of underestimate, overlooked sometimes, the sleep, until you really start to suffer.
Until you're really, exactly like you said. I mean, here you were exhausted and you would think you could fall asleep, but you couldn't fall asleep or stay asleep.
Yeah, and then in the next day you're tired again. So that's exhausted. Indication. Yeah, if you sometimes sleep 7-8 hours, if you feel tired in the next day, that means you don't have really deep restful sleep.
And then it leads to the downward spiral, right? You have no energy, you can't focus. And then if you're working your job performance, it's, you're going to have problems. Make mistakes.
Also a relationship that can affect, you can be more not so tolerant and irritable with loved ones. And yeah.
That's right. No, it's a vicious cycle. So what you're saying is get to the root of it. And what you're inviting people is to take the free weekly beginner classes. Now, those are on YouTube.
I have a YouTube channel for for people to watch the video, but this is live with me every Sunday at 9 a.m. And on Zoom. So, but they need to register. I announce the classes on my Facebook page, Menopausal Support Academy. And from there, they can register and join me every Sunday to learn some new techniques or just practice with me. If they want watch the YouTube channel, they can. I also upload there some of the recordings, some of my past classes, which is also the same name as my Facebook group, Balanced Perimenopause and Menopause, is the same name of the YouTube channel. So they can watch the videos first there. If you like it, then join me in a live session, and from there, if they decide to go in the course or the program, they can do that.
Oh, that is wonderful. And what we'll do is we'll have the links at the bottom of this broadcast. But you have Sundays at 9 a.m. You have a weekly Zoom. Now, is that free?
It's free, yes, for people who really want to start, to try, to ask me questions. Yes, just just 30 minutes, not much, just to really tap in how that works and to bring them in the habit, create the habit to practice
Well,
this.
that's huge. That's huge. That's a very gentle way to get people introduced.
To try, introduce.
Absolutely, and be comfortable. And I mean, this is life transforming. It's
It is. It's nothing. Nothing worse to try. It's free. It's you're with the guide, with the experiencing guide. There's nothing terrifying. And yes, because sometimes if they try it by themselves, sometimes they can lead to hyperventilation if they don't use it correctly. Yeah.
Right. So there's guidance that's really helpful.
Yeah, the better is the start with the guide, with somebody who already learned that and experiencing that. So yeah, that can guide them.
Exactly. Now, if people want to set up a time to talk with you personally, how do they do that?
I give you my Calendly link. They can set up appointment with me. You can have a chat, coffee chat, and just see how I can help and support them.
Oh, that's beautiful. So you are giving us so many resources here, Dilyana. It's absolutely a privilege and delightful to aid it. You know, you're such a success story to see where you were, right? And how you overcame, and now you're a master. You're really really helping you. And I know people that know you, and they speak so highly of working with you, and you care so much, and the results that they get is that's a testament to you. So thank you.
And everybody can become the same if they are just be committed and be consistent.
Exactly. So there's really light at the end of the tunnel, and there's hope, because I know when you're feeling that way and you're dragging, you feel like there is no hope.
Yeah, I know. I myself feel, oh my God, I cannot see the light, but after a while I see.
That is so awesome. What else, any other tools you want to share with our listeners before we close?
That I want to know that everybody who going through this challenging period of perimenopause and menopause, you're not alone. There's many women experiencing the same. We are in the same boat, and you can go beyond together.
It really is a message of hope. And
yes.
And you're giving people a place to start. It's, you know, it's not overwhelming. Just turn on the Zoom for 30 minutes on Sunday. Now, what time zone is that?
It's very important. Yeah, it's Pacific time. I'm in Vancouver, Canada, which is the same like California time, I think. So, yes. But I think the people in Mountain, in Central, in Eastern can benefit because it's ahead of me, and even also European. It'll be the evening for them, but it'll be also possible for them.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then tell us again the name of your Facebook page. It's
Menopause Support Academy.
Okay, beautiful. Because we want to give people the links, but we want people to hear it as well. And you're also on LinkedIn. If they type your name.
I'm with my name. They can find me, Dilyana Mileva, on LinkedIn, and message me there. And whatever they prefer.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right. So heartfelt thanks.
Thank you for having me.
You're helping so many women, and we get the word out, and you'll be empowered to help more.
You too. Thank you to give me this opportunity to speak out.
It is a privilege. All right, then. So we will have the links below. And once again, our heartfelt thanks to Dilyana Mileva. All right.